Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday, a little bit different from our usual Wednesday presentations, but we had to postpone it and wait an extra day in order to give this presentation. But welcome once again to this educational presentation where today I want to talk to you about the very first strategy I ever learned. Now, I've made no qualms about this. I've spoken about this many times that when I first started trading, I struggled tremendously. And I was doing all the things that probably many of you are doing, but I really couldn't make a dime. So I know exactly what a lot of traders are going through when they're very frustrated or disappointed that you're not seeing the type of results that you're promised or you think you're supposed to be receiving. I know exactly what that feels like. It can be very extremely discouraging. Well, my mentors saw how much I was struggling with trading, and they introduced me to this strategy, which I'm going to be talking about today. And I really feel that this strategy is at the cornerstone of what has sustained me now going on for 46 years. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to jump right into it. Usually I start my presentations by giving you a little bit of background, teaching you a little bit about the basics of the method. I'm going to just start it by sharing with you and showing you a lot of examples of how this strategy really generated some really nice signals within the last couple of months, okay? So we're talking about strategy number 4. We've talked about it before, but as I said, this is my very favorite strategy, probably the most consistent method we have today at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. Now, everything you're going to be seeing today is displayed coming from our platform, the PTS Primo Charting Platform, that teaches traders how to trade and that automatically displays the strategy number 4 setup. So you'll see how simple it is to generate these signals. Now, as always, before we begin, we're required to share this with you, so please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results beginning in just a few seconds here, showing strategy number 4 signals. But please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. Also, please remember that since we are an educational company, all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Okay, so as I said, we're going to do things a little bit differently. Let's just jump right into it. Let's look at strategy examples for buy signals, okay? Okay, here's an example in Google going back about a month or so. Someone looking at this would say, hey, there's absolutely nothing we can take advantage of right here because we're in a sideways market. Why would we want to trade something that is going nowhere, right? Here's the beauty of strategy 4. It's designed to identify and catch momentum, oftentimes before you even see that momentum registered on the chart. So there's actually no momentum taking place right here. But look at the signal that was generated within that sideways market. Had you taken advantage of that setup, well, you could have potentially captured 15 points when the momentum kicked in just days later. Here's another example in CPRT. Once again, chart is basically going sideways for the past week or so, but 2 buy signals were generated where there was absolutely no momentum taking place. And then actually the momentum did kick in. Now, at this point, a lot of trade very quickly, and they'll say, hey, listen, I want to take my profits and get out, and that's fine. But the problem with what happens with most traders is that they switch reverse. Maybe they go to a chat room where some guy who's maybe been trading for a couple of years says, hey, this is really overbought. You've got to exit right here. We've got some major resistance with the institutions. So it's time to sell. So maybe you get out of your position a little bit too early. Here's the beauty of strategy number 4. Remember, once again, it's designed to identify momentum, oftentimes when it looks as if there's no momentum, or even in this case, it looks as if the momentum is going to the downside. So if this is overbought and momentum should kick into the downside, why did strategy number 4 generate a buy signal right here? And then look what happened. Had you held on to your original setups, well, you could have potentially once again captured 15 points. Here's a look in Amazon. Okay, for all intents and purposes, this is going lower, but a buy signal was generated just about a month ago, and it went up another 15 points, okay? All right, let's look at DDOG. Now, this is a little bit easier to identify because it did take off to the upside. And most traders looking at this, myself included, when I first started trading, I wouldn't want to take a buy signal at this point because it gapped up and it's already jumped up tremendously. You say to yourself, well, I don't know if I want to buy this high. Maybe I'll wait for it to come back. And that's your decision. It's up to you. We're not a systematic company where everyone has to take the same trade for statistical purposes. It's your decision. We're just providing you with these high probability setups. Now, had you decided to take that actual setup, Well, you could have potentially captured 20 points. You see, the market never came down lower, giving you an opportunity to buy at lower levels. All right, let's look at Apple. Here's an older chart of Apple coming into roughly about a month ago. Now, obviously, in hindsight, we've been going up, right? It's easy to say, well, yeah, I should have been buying this because looking back the last 2 months, it's been going higher. But what if we had wanted to purchase somewhere around these levels, okay, when it was lower? Well, strategy 4 generated signals all the way back starting in March. Look at all these setups you could have taken advantage of and potentially captured 25 points had you held on to the very first one. All right, let's look at VRSK. For all intents and purposes, we're in a short-term downtrend, right? Lower highs, lower lows. That's the definition of a downtrend. See, the highs here followed by a lower high, the lows followed by a lower low. So we're in a downtrend, right? There's no momentum to the upside at all. But once we apply strategy number 4 on the PTS Primo Charting Platform, what do we find? We have 2 buy signals right here in the middle of that so-called downtrend. So how can that be? Well, because strategy 4 is so sensitive in finding and identifying momentum that oftentimes you won't even see it in the chart. Now, had you taken those 2 signals or any one of those, you could have potentially captured 30 points. See how it gapped up right here? At this point, you would have said to yourself, well, it's too late to buy now. I wish I would have bought it lower. This is the beauty of strategy number 4. Oftentimes, it will get you in before those nice big moves. Now, let's look at another example of a downtrend. This is a Meta, okay, coming into May. All right, obviously, we're in a downtrend. You don't want to buy in a downtrend, right? But within that downtrend, we had a buy setup. Strategy number 4 is identifying that there's momentum happening to the upside, even before it's represented on the chart. And look what happened within the next week. Not only did it go up 30 points, it gapped up. Okay, so obviously it gapped up off of some news. How is it possible that a strategy that's not based on any fundamental information, not based on any news events, not based on anything economically, how is it possible that it was able to identify that big 30-point gap up before it even happened, days before it happened? Why? Because when you base your methods off of market behavior, oftentimes they will generate signals well before a news announcement. So that's the beauty of strategy 4. Now do you see why I have been trading this for 46 years? Because it has helped sustain me because of examples like this. All right, let's look at NVDA, NVIDIA. All right, once again, kind of in a sideways mode here, nothing much happening. 30 points in just 3 days. So if you're the type of trader that doesn't want to stay in a trade longer, well, in 3 days, you could have taken a nice 30-point gain if you wanted to. And remember, we realize that some of these stocks are very expensive. You can trade options with them. It's not saying that you have to buy the actual stock. If you'd like to buy calls, if you'd like to buy some type of a spread with a bias towards the upside, it's entirely up to you. All our job is as a mentor is to provide our students around the world in over 115 countries now with just high probability setups. And then we teach you different ways in which to trade them. But ultimately, the choice is yours. All right, let's look at BIIB. Once again, it's going lower, but here we have a buy signal right at the low of that little 3 or 4 day sell-off, 32 points in the next week. Now let's try another market. Here's an entirely different market, but the same principles apply. Here's a daily chart of the dollar yen. Okay, so if you're forex traders here, there's nothing to change. So many times I've seen presentations where someone will be touting a strategy or a system, and they say, listen, this works great for stocks. If you want to trade the forex, you have to buy an entirely different version. If you want to trade futures, you have to buy an entirely different version. If you want to trade cryptos, an entirely different. And that's silly. If something works in one market, it should be able to transfer onto all markets. Now, 90% of our methods and techniques work in all markets, so you don't have to buy a separate method. You can be trading multiple markets, multiple time frames with just one strategy number 4. Now, looking at this in hindsight, sure, you would have wanted to buy. Where would have been the best places to buy the dollar yen? Well, obviously, right here would have been a great place before it went up, and then right here before it went up, right? Well, look what happens when we applied strategy 4. Signals right at those very levels. Now, had you held on to this first setup right here, you could have potentially captured 475 pips in about 3 or 4 weeks. That's close to $5,000 per unit. Okay, let's look at LRCX. Kind of a slow upward moving slant here, but we have 3 buy signals. So strategy 4 is kind of screaming that you've got to buy this. And then look what happened. 80 points ultimately about a month ago. All right, we've looked at buy setups. Let's look at sell setups, because we know not everything always goes to the upside. At the same time, there are always signals being generated to go short, or at least you can use these sell signals to exit if you like. Many of our students say, listen, Steve, I don't feel comfortable going short the markets. I'm just not that type of a trader. But oftentimes, if I'm in a trade and I see a strategy 4 sell signal, I'll use that to get out of my trade and to flatten my position. Okay, so let's look at some sell signals that happened recently. Here's an example in MCHP. All right. Once again, looks like a range market, right? These are the markets we're always taught to stay away from because nothing really happens. And when you buy, it goes lower. When you sell, it goes higher. So for all intents and purposes, this is just going sideways in a range. But if we apply strategy 4, we see that there was a sell signal right in the middle of that range. And look what happened just days later. It fell 10 points. So what happened to that range? This is the beauty, once again, of strategy 4. It will identify momentum oftentimes before you see it on the chart. Let's look at this example in CHTR. This is a lot easier to see because oftentimes it looks as if a reversal will happen. And this one was kind of easy to spot. It's a big sell signal here, and it fell 25 points in the next couple of weeks. As you look at the stock team, TEAM, okay? It's kind of basically going sideways, not much to see here, but a sell signal was generated. And in the next couple of weeks, it fell 33 points to the downside. Now, people looking at this chart here, Moderna, would say, hey, Steve, I can't short this. This is in an uptrend. Look, we have higher highs and higher lows. So why would I want to go against the trend? Well, remember, this is just the very superficial way of looking at the trend. Strategy number 4 does follow the trend, but it uses its own proprietary tools to discern what the trend is. And strategy number 4 generated a sell signal right here. So obviously, its tools were saying that the trend is actually down. And look what happened, 33 points. So this is why traders lose oftentimes, because they think they're trading with the trend, but they're really not. A lot of ways in which traders discern what the trend is are old, worn out kind of, conventional wisdom types of trend following that really don't hold up in the markets. You've got to use things that are really based on market behavior. And this is what we teach you in the course. All right, let's look at ODFL. All right, a sell signal was generated here, and you could have potentially captured 40 points in one day. Now, here's what a lot of potential students say. They say, well, Steve, yeah, what if I didn't exit my position? Look, I would have given back nearly half of it had I held on. So how do I know where to get out? Well, in our course, we teach you upwards of 6 or 7 different ways in which to exit. If you like to get in and out quickly, if you like to hold on for the long run, it's up to you. But I'm going to share with you later on a technique which would have had you exiting right here, right near the very lows. And you could have exited your position entirely before it started to go back up. Okay, let's recap. Let's go over what we taught and shared with you today. Let's talk about some of the highlights. So we're doing this in reverse. Usually we talk about this at the beginning. Now I'm going to go over a little bit of the highlights and the philosophy of this strategy, okay? The highlights of strategy number 4. It's a pattern recognition strategy. So everything you've just seen was based off a pattern. Now this pattern, we teach you how to identify this in the course, but it appears over and over again. All right, so you get a lot of signals with strategy number 4 because this pattern is always reoccurring in markets. And it doesn't matter what market. And you're going to see this pattern. You'll know how to identify it, but you first have to be able to apply a few insights and things in which we teach you in the course how to identify it. Now, here's the beauty of this. On our platform, the PTS Primo Charting Platform, it automatically generates these buy and sell arrows where these signals have been generated. So you can check your work. In other words, if you're studying what this pattern looks like, you can identify this pattern based on what we teach you, and then click on the arrows on the platform to see if you're correct in identifying a valid strategy number 4 signal. You see, I want all of our students to get to the point where I am right now. In other words, I can just look at a chart and I'll say, there's a strategy 4 buy signal there, there's a strategy 4 sell signal there, there's another strategy 4 buy signal there, and I don't need these arrows. That's where I want to get all of my students, to the point. But while you're getting to that level, we provide you with a way to check your work, and that's on the platform. You can only find that on the platform, the PTS Primo Charting Platform, that helps you learn how to trade strategy number 4 and identify this pattern. Now, another highlight is it's designed for traders looking to catch momentum. And I think you just saw that right now, right? That's the beauty of strategy number 4. Oftentimes, it will generate signals where it looks as if there's no momentum at all, or it appears as if the momentum is going in the opposite direction of the signal. You saw that in a few examples I shared with you where it looked as if the trend was up and strategy 4 generated a sell signal, or vice versa. It looked as if the trend was down and strategy number 4 generated a buy signal. This is the beauty of this, because remember, it's based on market momentum and it's based on market behavior. And oftentimes it will generate these signals before the momentum kicks in. So when I first started trading this 46 years ago on the floor of the stock exchange, I was getting in and out in a matter of minutes, because that's the way we traded on the floor. But we devised ways for traders, because we know not everyone trades that way. You can be in the trade for a day, a week, even months if you'd like. So there's no need to worry or think that this is only for intraday traders. And then lastly, you can apply strategy 4 to virtually any market and any time frame. Now, I shared with you a couple of examples in the forex markets, but I personally use this trading 1 to 5 minute charts of the E-mini futures. That's the market I like to trade, because basically I was trained to trade, in and out markets for my days on the floor of the exchange. So that's the way I like to trade the E-mini futures. But we have students around the world that trade it not only forex, but they trade it in cryptos, commodities. This works tremendously in commodities, as well as stocks, or if you like to intraday trade stocks. So it makes no difference what market or what time frame. And also the good thing is, as I said earlier, you do not have to purchase a separate strategy number 4 version for a specific market. The same rules, the same requirements apply to all markets and all time frames. Now, the advantages to trading strategy number 4, firstly, it's extremely consistent. Now, what does that mean? I've said this in practically every presentation. I know a lot of students think that consistent means, well, that means it has a lot of winners, right? No, that's not what consistent really means. What you're looking for in consistency is actually you have an awareness that you will have losses, but a consistent method is one that's able to recoup those losses, because losses are inevitable. Everyone, some of the best traders I've ever known have had a series of losses. That's okay, but they feel so confident and so comfortable with their method because they know that it's going to recoup those losses most likely in the next trade or so. So that's what strategy number 4 is. It's an extremely consistent method. Every once in a while, you will get a loss. That's all right. You have the assuredness and the confidence to know that most likely it will be recouped within the next couple of trades, okay? Another advantage is that it makes you a part of the process. I feel, and I've said this oftentimes, probably the biggest reason why most traders fail is because you're taking yourself out of the game. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means you're allowing someone or something else to make your trading decisions for you. And it's really not all your fault, because we've all been trained to trade that way. I know when I first started trading, I was trained to listen to the gurus on TV. We didn't have chat rooms or trading rooms, but we had newsletters, but I subscribed to all of them. I was trained to listen to the economic report, the jobless claims. At that time, it was a money supply as well. We looked at economic reports. We also looked at earnings and what was going on within the company. I was trained to do that, okay? And I was also trained to look at a ton of indicators, making my method so overcomplicated that at the end, I realized I wasn't even a part of this process. I was allowing something to decide when I was going to get in or get out. I wasn't a part of the process at all. I was just like a robot following orders, okay? That's why most traders fail. You're taking yourself out of the game. And if you don't think that's true, well, ask yourself, how do you make your decisions? Do you go to a daily blog and find out what someone likes? Do you watch the so-called traders on TV and find out what they're buying or selling that day? Do you wait for the earnings to come out or interest rates announcements to happen before you can make a decision? If you trade that way, you're allowing someone to tell you when and how to trade. But when you become a part of the process, you're in charge of your own trading destiny. Your confidence in your plan allows you to trade whenever you want. Okay, think of it. Think of an airline pilot. All of a sudden, when the plane is in the air, going over the loudspeaker and saying, "Hey, does anyone know how to land this, or how would you give me an idea on how to land this when we get to our destination? What's your opinion?" Okay, it would seem silly, right? You'd want to get off that plane as soon as possible. Or what if a brain surgeon asked you before he operated, "Hey, how do you think I should operate on you? Okay, what do you think I should do? What do you think is the best thing, the best way to operate on your brain?" You would get up off the operating table and say, "That's it. I'm not using you as a doctor." But for some reason, traders, it's okay. It's okay to say, "Hey, what do you think I should do in this stock? Hey, I'm going to listen to that guy in the chat room. He'll know what to buy or sell today, right?" Or I'm going to listen to my brother-in-law down the street. He knows what I should buy or sell. Or I'm going to listen to some guy on TV. I'm going to wait for the earnings to tell me whether it's good news or bad news if I should buy or sell this stock. So for some reason, it's okay. But that's not okay. It's not any different from a lawyer or a brain surgeon or an airline pilot asking their client what they should do. So never get in that position. Never ask anyone, "What do you think of the market? What do you think of this stock?" You should know going into the trade, prior to the trade, what you want to do. Here's the good news. That's our job as a mentor. We teach you all these things so that you'll never have to ask once again, "Hey, what do you think of the market? What do you think I should do?" Why? Because now you are a part of the process. And lastly, strategy number 4 is designed to be as simple as possible. One of the simplest things, and I'll give away rule number 1, is that we apply only one indicator, only one, and that's the 50-period moving average. And I've talked about this before, so it's no secret. And we use that with all of the signals. In other words, if price closes above the 50-period moving average, then you'll only look for buy signals. It's that simple. If price closes below the 50-period moving average, you'll only look to identify sell signals. That's it. That simple rule has saved me so much money. In fact, we call that the buy-sell line. And I've often said, if I were stranded on a desert island and I could only use one trading tool to trade off that island, that would be it, the buy-sell line or the 50-period moving average. That's how consistent it is. And if you think that's simple, the rest of the rules, the remaining rules of strategy 4 are just as simple as that. So an extremely simple method. It makes you a part of the process, and it's also extremely consistent. So ask yourself, after the examples I just shared with you and after just explaining to you a little bit of the concept behind strategy number 4, do you think this strategy can help your trading for the remainder of 2023? Now, if you can believe it, we're halfway through the year. In just a couple of days, we'll be starting July, and we'll be at the halfway point of the year. Are you anywhere near where you promised yourself and made all these goals and promises in January with your trading? Most likely you're not. And that's okay, because that basically is about 85% of all traders. That's all right. But what if someone gave you a lifeline? What if someone gave you an opportunity to get out of the hole or back on track? What if you had a chance to finish the year really strong, much stronger than you thought you could? Well, because of that, we have a great offer for you today with strategy number 4. Okay? This is our most consistent strategy method, and we're going to offer it to you with a great discount. In fact, you're going to get instant course access, detailed instruction. You'll learn all the different entry points, all the different exit points, and all the different stop placements. Now, a lot of people say, "What do you mean all the different entries and exits and stops? I don't understand. Why would you give us a lot of different entries?" Well, because once again, this is all for you to become a part of the process. Remember, when you trade exactly the same way 7 million other people are trading, you're not a part of the process. We want you to trade according to your own means. In other words, let's say you're a type of trader that likes to trade 20 times a day, okay? Well, we'll show you different ways for entries, for exits, and for stop placements that allow you to do that. Let's say you're the type of trader that only likes to trade once a month. Well, we'll show you how to do that. You see, everyone comes in with different risk parameters. Everyone comes in with different persona traits. So no two traders should trade the exact same way. This is how you become a part of the process. Once again, our job as a mentor and as an educator is simply to provide you with these things. So that's why we give you different entries, different exits and stops to make you feel comfortable. Let's say you're the type of trader that doesn't like to take on a lot of risk. Well, we'll share with you and teach you a stop placement that doesn't take on a lot of risk. But let's say you have, let's say $250,000 to play with, okay? And you can't afford taking larger risk. Well, then we'll share with you a stop placement that allows you to do that, okay? Now, once again, this comes with the automatic buy and sell arrows. You get the complete course rules on a PDF, so you can study them at your own leisure whenever you'd like. Remember, you can apply Strategy 4 to virtually any market and any time frame. So even if it says right here in the graphic promo stock strategy, this was something when we first started teaching strategy number 4 nearly 15 years ago. We were just teaching it to stock traders, but through the years we found out that it works tremendously for other markets, other time frames. So don't get so fixated on where it says stock, because it can be virtually applied to any market and any time frame. Okay. Along with this comes educational correspondence from yours truly. But we're not going to stop here with this special offer. We also have an extra bonus included with this. Now, remember, you saw everything today coming from the PTS Primo Charting Platform. You saw how simple it is for those up and down arrows to appear automatically, right? Well, we're going to throw in the PTS Primo Charting Platform. It's going to be included with this special offer. In fact, here's what you get with it. You're not only going to get strategy number 4, but you'll get our enhanced buy sell line features. These are 4 different ways to find out the overall trend. Remember, I told you how so many traders are using worn out non-conventional means to find the trend? This is the best way, in my opinion, to find a trend. You get 4 different features, and you'll only find on the platform. You'll get a strength of trend tool that I developed with Pro Trader Strategies that has an uncanny ability to find out when a trend is running out of gas or when a trend is just beginning. That's also included on the platform. You'll get a signal scanner where you can scan on a nightly basis for all the Strategy 4 setups. So you'll know exactly which ones are set up for the next day. Over 90 of the most prominent technical indicators, so you can tinker under the hood and apply different techniques and methods. And this all comes with personalized tech support. But here's the best thing, I think, included in the PTS Primo Charting Platform package. You're also going to get auto-generated exit levels. Now, remember, I said we teach upwards of 6 or 7 different ways to exit, depending on your means, okay? This is just one of those different trading methods for exiting, but it's auto-generated on the platform. Let me show you what I mean here. Here was a signal in Starbucks, okay? A buy signal, strategy number 4. Now, here's the beauty of this. Before you even get into the trade, you can find out where these exit levels are. All you have to do on our platform is click on strategy number 4. And once you click it on, a drop-down menu will appear. Instead of clicking on the signal arrows, click on range extension exits. And you'll see 4 different levels, okay? Now, if you're the type of trader that likes to get in and out quickly, you're kind of like the way I was trained, trade quickly and get in and out, well, then you'd use exit level number 1 to exit your trade. Now, if you are more of a swing trader, then you use exit levels 2 and 3. Let's say you've really researched this stock. Let's say you really like it and you think a big move is ahead. Okay, well, then you'd use exit level number 4. Now, let's say we developed our plan and said, we're going to get out here at exit level number 4. Well, look what happened. In a matter of days, you have a quick 8-point gain. Okay. Now, we always tell our students that if you're going to use exit level 4 to exit your position entirely. And a lot of students say, why, Steve? I mean, sometimes it goes higher. For example, for the next 3 days, it did go higher. And this is where a lot of students say, why did I get out? I could have captured some more points. Well, oftentimes we've seen that exit level number 4 is when the trend is just about to change. So let's say you had held on to your position. Well, most likely you would have given all of your profit back and then some. So that's why it's very prudent, if you're going to be using this, which is on the platform for free, and it's going to be involved with your trading, to always exit your position right here at exit level number 4. Here's another example. Remember, we talked about this one in ODFL. Sell signal was generated before you even get into the trade. You can look at these levels. Okay, click on strategy 4, click on range extension, and you'll see the 4 different levels. Okay, so you can say to yourself, hey, I really think this is going to fall out of bed. I don't like the market. I've done my research, and I think the stock is going to go way lower. So you apply exit level number 4. Well, look what happened. You could have potentially captured 40 points in one day before it started to go right back up. So this is the beauty of this. And once again, you'll only find this on the PTS Primo Charting Platform. And that's included with this great offer. So let's break it down. Remember, this is the very first strategy I ever learned, and this is a strategy I continue to use in my personal trading to this day. All right, you get the complete course and the rules manual, the PDF, and that is a $695 offer. You'll also get real-time PTS Primo charts for 1 year. All right, and that is also nearly a $1,200 offer. Remember, that includes the scanner where you can scan for nightly signals. Now, if we included these both together, normally you would pay close to $1,900. Well, that's not much of a discount offer, okay? So we're going to slash that. We're not going to offer that at $19. We're going to take out the PTS Primo Charting Platform cost, and we're only going to charge you for strategy number 4. That's only $695. You're going to save nearly $1,200. That's over a 60% discount. But remember, this is for a limited time only. Now, if you're still not convinced, even with such a small price at such a great discount, let me share with you what happened just a few days ago. Let's look at this chart in JOBY, okay? Now, someone looking at this would say, hey, we've had a really nice run up coming into the middle of June, but look at, we've kind of hit a top. There's a bearish engulfing pattern. Looks like we're going lower, so not much happening here. Well, had you clicked on strategy 4 the night before, you would have seen that there was a buy signal right here. Now, you could have purchased it on the close of that day. You could have waited to purchase and been more conservative the next day. But look what happened. Remember, this was just 2 days ago. Okay? The price of JOBY has gained 90% in just 2 days. Now, I know a lot of webinars you may go to show you fantastic setups like this, and then you look at the date and it was like over a year ago. This happened 2 days ago using strategy number 4. With our platform, you could have scanned for this the night before, seeing that on the night of the 27th, there was a buy signal. You could have purchased it when it gapped open on that next morning. Or if you wanted to, you could have scanned actually 5 minutes before the close, a little bit more aggressive, more advanced way to trade this. And you could have seen there was a buy signal in JOBY and bought on the close, and taken advantage of a 90% gain in the price in just 2 days. So this just happened on the 27th, which was Tuesday of this week. It's only Thursday right now. Remember, I've been trading strategy 4 for over 46 years. I think you can tell why by some of the examples I just shared with you. It has sustained me for that amount of time. I think you can finish out 2023 strong with strategy number 4. So take charge of your trading for the very first time. Remember, become a part of the process. It's not going to help you to rely on someone or something else to make your own trading decisions. It's up to you to make your trading decisions if you want to become a consistent trader. Here's how to take advantage of that great offer, okay? Contact my sister site, Pro Trader Strategies. They're in charge of all the discounts and the pricing. I would highly recommend giving them a call at this number right here, 310-598-6677. They have trading consultants manning the phones. They would be more than happy to give you a quote or take your order over the phone. They would be more than happy to tell you more about the platform or tech support or about data issues. Now, you see that link at the very bottom there. That's the link that will take you to the info page, and you can actually sign up there also if you'd like as well. But that's not a live link. So we've just posted a live link in the chat box, in the link there, or I should say the icon there where it says chat. Just click that on and you'll see that live link. You can click that on, okay? Now, I promised I would reserve the last portion of this presentation for any questions that you may have. So anything regarding trading or teaching of the method, please don't hesitate. Ask me a question and I will answer it to the best of my, I'm getting the most common question I always get in these presentations. And someone is asking, what do I mean by educational correspondence? Okay, that was stated in that page there where it said all the things that were offered within this special offer. Educational correspondence means that each and every one of you, once you decide to become a student of mine, will get my personal email address. Now, I know a lot of people and a lot of other companies, you get an email address to ask questions or to submit different chart examples. And it goes to either an intern or it goes to an assistant. It actually doesn't go to the person in charge. I don't want you to think that, because at Specialist Trading, everything comes to me. Anything concerning teaching or trading comes directly to me. So once you get my personal email address, all you have to do is email me. It could be on the weekend. It could be before the opening. I was answering questions from students before today's opening, and it could be after the close. It makes no difference. You can ask me during the day, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, okay? So educational correspondence is the next best thing I know in terms of me sitting right next to you, being your personal mentor. So each and every student will get that, okay? How many rules are there in strategy number 4? There are a total of 5 rules, and you got the first one, and I'll give you the second one, okay? The first one is the 50-period moving average. If price is above, you'll only look for buy setups for that buy pattern. If price is below, you'll only look for that sell pattern. Here's rule number 2, okay? If the price bar closed above the 50-period moving average, you also want to see that that bar closes in the top 25%, meaning that, let's say the price bar is 4 points, okay? It opened at 60 and it closed at 64. Well, you want to see that it closed anywhere from 63 to 64 in that top 25%. So that's rule number 2. Now, I can't give away the rest of the rules because they will identify the pattern. It wouldn't be fair to all of our students around the world who are currently trading strategy number 4 and who have paid for this strategy, often at higher prices than what we're offering to you today. But those are the first 2 rules. Now, if you wanted to go short, well, rule number 1 says that price must be below the 50, and rule number 2 says that you must close in the bottom quarter of that bar. It's very simple. It really doesn't take a lot of knowledge, and it's not like something where a lot of students will say, well, Steve, you know, I'm new to trading. I've only been trading for a couple of weeks. I don't understand all this lingo. And, you know, I don't have a degree in, you know, finance the way many of you do. And I haven't been trading that long. So this stuff is really foreign to me. We make it extremely simple. That's why we have so many students that have only been trading for a short amount of time, because everyone gets the same rules, whether you've been a hedge fund manager for 20, 30 years, or whether you just started trading for 20 or 30 minutes. You're all going to get the same rules. That's how basic and simple this is, okay? Okay, good questions. Remember, if you have any more questions that once we've concluded, even if it's about pricing or if you want to purchase strategy number 4 at this great deal, take advantage of this before the offer expires, probably within the next couple of days. So call Pro Trader Strategies at 310-598-6677. They would be happy to work with you. They're very flexible. They can give you more information about the platform. And remember, this comes with a full year real time of the platform. It also comes with my personal email address, so you'll never feel that you're left out in the cold, you don't understand this. You can always contact me whenever you'd like, okay? Okay, as we conclude this presentation and take one last look at our disclaimer, I would just like to thank you for taking time out of your Wednesday. I know you're all very busy, and I know that you could be trading or looking at other things. I hope you learned something about the way we like to trade and our concepts and philosophy about educating traders and how we really want to help you and see you succeed. And the only way to do that is for you to become a part of the process. The good news is that's the service we provide. We provide you with high level and very consistent methods and techniques to help you get back on track. So as we close here, thank you once again for attending, and I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine in the Strategy number 4 course. Thank you so much. I'll see you in class. Bye-bye.